So the first Kino Flo was literally the trailer. We're working off the back of a truck. When we did Barfly, we had a little drill press set up. Gary was in there just cranking out singles and whatever we could build. And it just sort of grew sort of organically. You need more space, and we never even stopped to think about it. 300 square feet, 600 square feet, 1,000 square feet, well, signing a lease, big deal. It wasn't until, I think, 5 years ago that we actually went out and bought a building and walked through it the first time, saw it empty and went, how the hell are we ever going to fill this place? This is huge. No sooner had we moved in, we went, I bet in 4 years we're going to be tight in here, at least the way we're going. And sure enough, it's now 5 years and we're tight. Originally, starting off wanting to be a cinematographer, I have the utmost respect for the field of cinematography. And so for me, it's very important. The more you can communicate effectively with your cinematographers or with your clients, the more they're going to understand it. And me being a gaffer and being in the industry, I understand where those pitfalls may lie. So I think having that benefit of experience makes us unique amongst many of the lighting companies. I'm pretty sure I'm very much like cinematographers who, when they go on a location or in a certain room, they'll just pause to look at the light and take note of what that light is doing in a room and sort of catalog that. And it's a similar thing that I do. I mean, my wife will look at me and say, "What the hell are you looking at?" I said, "Well, look at the shadow of that thing." "Okay, honey." Again, I'll look at light and see, I'll view light or the environment differently than anyone else will. So in that respect, I think from a design perspective, that's what I'm bringing to the table when we design, when we sit down as a team and start looking at some of the lighting challenges that we have. That eye. I mean, just look at the form of a 4-bank. If you'd given that to an engineer, give me 4 lamps in a lightweight housing, what would they have come up with? Nothing as goofy as what we did. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. But its form followed the functionality. And I think that's unique about everything that we do here, is that we sort of know some of those things, or we discover as we go out on sets areas that are where there's an opportunity to actually create a new product that will benefit the user. The idea of Kino Flo came out of a need for myself. Now, how do you go beyond that? You can't just have a company with one product. How do you build upon it? And for us moving forward, we're going to be working in LEDs, but what's important about the LED is what light quality are you trying to achieve. It's really looking at that technology and what can we get out of it. Now, color, of course, is going to be a big critical aspect of all of this. So the work that we're doing in it is looking at that color and making sure that we now meet the expectations that the industry and the market has for a Kino Flo product. And so where certain manufacturers will run out with a product that, to our mind, would be half-baked, there's a market for that. There is the concept of good enough. Now, in our industry, we're dealing in a color-critical environment. We're dealing with high-end cinematographers. Can Kino Flo afford to be good enough? And that is something that we as a company grapple with, because we don't want to be just good enough. We want to be fabulous. And that in itself is challenging. So that's what drives a lot of what we're going to be doing as we move forward, is to make sure that what we do is fabulous, not just good enough. Kino Flo is all about the light. And everything that we do is about the light. It's about the quality of light. You embrace the technology, but it's not for the sake of technology. It's for the sake of using that technology to now achieve a quality of light that you couldn't achieve any other way. That's a tough nut, especially on an LED. From a lighting design perspective, the LED is the most unwelcome technology you could ever dream of. What are you going to do with all these little point sources? How are you going to make something nice out of it? So you make a spotlight out of it. You put a lens on it, you throw it a long distance, it's a spotlight. Can I do it with a Fresnel? Of course I can. Can I save the energy? No, I can't. Okay, so the LED is maybe a good option. What about the color? Well, okay. The notion of good enough comes in. It's good enough. In a color critical environment, it's not good enough. And not until such time that it is. So the big challenge for everyone is, how do you now take all those little Christmas lights and make them one homogeneous source? And so from the Kino Flo perspective, we want to do something that a cinematographer will demand, because it's the only way he can light it. That's our goal. And so that's the challenge. We got our work cut out. when you're really busy, you rarely stop to think about it, but every now and then when somebody asks or somebody talks about the company and you sort of take a step back and you look at it and you go, whew, freaky. So that's sort of a little tour of what we have going here. I'm going to get you some tomato juice. No, actually I don't have any anymore. Anyway, you see we're outgrowing this space, and next week we're supposed to be getting our computers in, and I mean, I don't know how we're going to do this. There's no space.
One day you have to rent a bigger place, I guess.
Don't want to. It's cheap rent right now.
Yeah.